Alright everyone, it's I, Schroeder Jets, our Valentine. Today, we're gonna be, finally, hopefully, finishing up Venge today, or at least continuing, right where we left off. So, yeah, last time, which was the, first, Weird Wacky Wednesday, we, got acquainted to the game, got acquainted to all the systems, tried to make sense of, the, honestly quite terrible lore. Oh, what the? Yeah, try to make sense of the quite honestly very broken, very disjointed, very hard to understand lore, and actually try to pretty much understand more or less, the story of this incredibly confusing game. Um, and yeah, let's just say it's been quite adventurous. So first we enter the studio, and only to find that apparently something was going on here. Like there was blood everywhere. There was very obvious signs of a struggle. Like, yeah, something definitely happened. But as soon as we got to the theater, we were then catapulted to this strange world, where we were immediately forced to confront the cartoonist and managed to at least somehow escape them. Even though, yeah, that took a little while. Let's just say. Um, yeah, it took nearly the entire stream last time to actually successfully run from them. But yeah, we did anyway, and now here we are in what looks to be another section of the building where we're gonna be confronting another enemy here, the last threat as he's called. Um, and also let me clean up my mic a little bit here. I'll do after stream. But yeah, our next enemy is gonna be the last threat, and that's gonna be a bit more interesting one here, especially because apparently, from what I remember, or at least from what I've seen of other people playing this, I'll explain his mechanics, but they're really interesting, you'll say. So yeah, let's get into this. Let's actually do this here. Huh. The fire burns! Skyworks Animation has officially sent Rotnik a cease and desist letter for reasons unknown. They claim Rotnik copied their works. However, lawyers claim that there are other more evil motives. Stay tuned. So obviously, something happened between Rotnik and whoever these Skycorp dudes are. Skycorp. I don't know. Is that like a reference to Skycorp Home Video? I don't know. Maybe? Maybe? Why is the blood falling down that way? Liar. That is not how blood is supposed to work. I can't see Jack. Wait, that's not Lazarette. That's Lazarette! Hang on, I'll go get a drink. My throat's feeling real dry. Alright, I'm back. Got some Gatorade. Can I tell you the truth about these kinds of enemies? Like, the projectionists and other enemies that are sound-based? I absolutely despise them. Like, I genuinely have a heart attack around these guys because here's the thing. Enemies that are like sound based or like, only move when you look away from them genuinely terrify me. Especially this one because let's hope we don't see it, but their attack is next level just. Yeah, no. Hate these kinds of enemies so much. I know it's a little shocking that, out of all the enemies that I hate, it's the sound-based ones like the projectionists from Bendy and those types that I just despise the most. But here's the thing with other enemies. Like, zombies covered in blood and gore and stuff, I've seen those 1,000 times. Um, weird space mutants, seen those 1,000 times. And plus, oftentimes I have, guns and other weapons and other stuff to deal with them. But in games where you can't kill your enemies like this, hey, damn it, Bang Bang, how you doing? I am genuinely scared out of my mind right now. And it's made by all the more worse by the fact that, you see, even in Bendy and the Dark Rival, love that game, by the way. Um, I have not seen our big old friend in a long time. I don't know why my encoder keeps screwing up all the time, too. Like, it's been really screwed up. It's been really, really screwed up ever since, yeah, it's been really screwed up ever since a few days ago, and I don't know why it's still like that. He is right outside, isn't he? Yep. Behind me? Okay. But yeah, as I was saying, absolutely do not like these kinds of enemies. Like, even I bet you had shit to deal with the enemies. In this game, you don't. And we have no idea what his maximum audio range is, which makes it even worse. But I'm just safely gonna imagine it is not a good idea to be walking about when you hear his footsteps nearby. I will say this does give me a greater appreciation for the work my employees in the Labami Corporation do. Of course you did. Of course they did. Of course they hid my gear. I know I tend to be a little bit more quiet in like stealth sections of games, but that's just yeah, the reason why I'm being so quiet is so I can listen closely to what's going on. Shit. Yeah, but in games that prioritize high stealth, I tend to be very, very quiet in order to like listen to what's going on. Especially if they're singer or a single player. Singer player, what the hell? Yeah, especially if they're a single player. Because, in single player games, there's no one else to help you. Once you're dead, you're dead. They've killed you. So getting killed in anything single player is much more terrifying than multiplayer games. Speaking of which. Okay? What the? Eh? Ah! That guy looks like he has like an anus on his face. Ah! What the fuck? We actually, did we kill him? Wait, before you flick that switch, objects that glow with that color are important. If you see this color, you could choose to press it. If you do, everyone in this world will know your choice. You've already flipped one of those levers with the cartoonist. Hmm. Here's the thing about that. Yeah, this is the kind of system I wanted to talk about earlier. So in Venge, they tried to do the whole Undertale style thing, where they had, the morality of butterfly effect system in place, and you could have like branching paths depending on which choice you chose. Like, did you spare the cartoonist? If you spared the cartoonist, it would go to a different path. If you spared the lazarette, it would go to a different path. That sort of thing. Um, However, like all things in this game, it's very, very gloriously underutilized. In fact, it's not used at all. At most, it just affects what characters say to you, what the red text says to you, that sort of thing. Like, it does not affect anything beyond that. Um, and those branching paths are usually just death ends. Are usually just bad endings, like a death end request. So all in all, just a very, yeah, it's there, but it's not fully implemented, and what is there is a sorry excuse of it, sort of system, like a lot of this game. But for the sake of it, I'm just going to, just walk off and just ignore it. Huh? What's this? It, stay for as long as you want. And again, they really didn't do any explanation as to how these monsters got that way. Like in BioShock, they explained everything with, or they explained exactly how everything happened. How the atom mutated people, how the splices were all that were left after the excessive use of it during the Civil War, how all that occurred. Like, they explained that in very great detail, and they went to great lengths to explain the lore and to flesh everything out. Um, which is something that is consistent across like all BioShock games. Very fleshed out worlds. Frank, now, with this game, on the other hand, it commits the cardinal sin of not explaining anything, not explaining any of the enemies, not explaining any of the lore, just basically explaining just jack diddly. I recognize that voice anywhere. Huh?
Oh my gosh, thank you. As you can tell, I can't move myself. I'm pretty
Wolfie
super
Chew?
but I know how to get us out. So just follow my directions and we will get there
I first
safely.
thought it was
Yeah?
Fee's voice, but listening to it closer with the headphones,
Okay, okay, so before we begin our journey,
that's
just
definitely
let me tell you
her.
the rules, okay? The rules of how we're gonna do this. So you cannot run. I'm afraid of running, okay? I can't run myself, and so you can't run. Alright? So don't run.
Now, on second thought, I don't think it's actually Wolfie Chew. Who, by the way, is a very, if you did not know, that's one of the streamers that I really take a lot of inspiration from. things happened with them. Let's just say that much. They kinda. Well, I don't really know if they're in the business anymore or what, but yeah, that is an old streamer that I did used to watch back in the day. But now I think that this is a Fee Clausel's voice actress here. Like she does a lot of odd jobs. So I'm pretty sure Ecker Coaster hired her too. It's me again. So if you want to drop it, just press Q. Oh! That's all I can help for now. Sorry.
No, turn left.
Alright.
No, turn left.
I always wonder what happens if you don't turn left.
Turn right again. Turn left. No, turn left. Turn right. Yeah, turn. Okay, we are almost there. Just through these curtains.
Yeah, that's B. Clausel, alright. Danger, lava!
See that lava over there? Yeah, don't go near it. Okay.
Wasn't intending to! But yeah, the lava is an insta-kill, by the way.
Okay, now enter a password. Luckily, I know. Zero.
Zero?
Zero. 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 Seven. Zero. 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 Seven. Zero. 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 Seven. Zero. Zero. Seven. Seven. Zero. Zero.
Stop lying to me and just tell me the password.
Zero. Zero. Seven. Perfect. Now enter that room. Okay. Okay.
Finally!
Let's go. Turn right. Turn right. Yeah. Turn right again.
I personally recommend going left.
Listen to me. You do not know where you are going. I do. So listen to me.
The other way is a death end, and I also do not want to deal with that again.
Hey, see that vent over there? Don't go in it. I heard the last person that went in that vent died a horrific death.
Oh!
Blood was scattered around the walls, and their bones were broken in two. True story.
Jesus. Which, I do kind of want to talk about the voice acting in this game. It varies from okay to just the most forced, genuinely just terrible. Ah! Voice acting I've heard. Like, like, sure, Bendy had their issues too with that. Like, some of the voice acting, was some of the most forced stuff I've ever heard. But this is a whole other level. Like, Jesus. Also, some of the voice work just doesn't sound good. Like, some of it just genuinely just sounds awful. Like, I don't know about you, but Fee's voice actor sounded disinterested the entire time she was doing that scene, to give you an idea. Aw, poor baby. You should bless your poor little legs. Hamina, hamina. Um, no comment. What happened there? Sucks? Let's see. So first up, I want to talk about my big thoughts thus far about the series or about the game as a whole because I have quite a few that I did not even really get to talk about until now. Number one, who is actually writing these? Like who the hell is writing everything in glowy blood? Like I'm all right with it. You know, it's a pretty interesting thing, but it's never explained lore. Like it's never explained who's doing it. Like a lot of things aren't explained in lore, for that matter. And number two, another thing that I really am having a few thoughts about is God, the is God, the dialogue is terrible. Like, really, I wonder, like, did they just try to make it just sound as just genuinely awful as possible, or did they just not check it? Like, I genuinely think they just didn't check when they were writing it. Like, that's the only thing that really makes sense to me. Um, Or, they might have just gone Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy route and just made the dialogue just intentionally sound awful. Just for it just, like just over the top, just terrible just for sake of it. Court Day. Skyworks Animations has taken Rotnik to court in hopes to take back what they believe is theirs. Rotnik has been extremely secretive about what is happening. Skeptics believe they are trying to cover up, but everyone is turning on them. Stay tuned. Also, uh, one more big thing, but what is up with this lore delivery system? Like, I don't know about you, but this is not the proper way to deliver lore. Normally, most games would either have, a narrator, like, the mysterious benefactor trope, which is a very useful trope in horror, especially because, like, not only can they, provide tips, and often do, and like they serve as good to, like, explain the tutorials and all that stuff too. But more importantly, they also, fill you in a bit on the lore, a bit what's going on, a bit of what they know. The best example by far has to be Frank Fontaine. Like, he is the king of mysterious benefactor trope. Um, like, like, and is really kind of one of the main forces that cemented that as a main facet of modern horror gaming is Frank Fontaine. Like, and I know they did originally plan to do that with Sean Chiplock, um, aka the guy whose voice work the notes were meant to replace because he quit on the project. But the lack of that is really does a lot wrong for the game overall. Um, and on top of all that, on top of that, the big thing here, the big cheese, the big kahuna, the big issue I have, the biggest issue by far with this game in general is, or rather its lore delivery in general is, yeah, delivering lore through just one big painting or one big article or something. Yeah, that's not how it's done. You need, like, all the tapes, all recordings, all the collectible stuff to tell people what's going on. Like, that is just a better way of doing it. And it allows you to give multiple perspectives on things too. Like, when you have, like, notes and stuff, you could give things from other characters' lenses, which is what makes it really, really useful. And I just realized that back there does not have any back polys at all. Your friend. My friend is waiting. I guess I could do that voice for it. My friend is waiting. Actually, that's better. What's that thing? Also, hang on a minute. Okay, this completely breaks the lore. Because that is the front of the building. Yeah, that's the main entrance right there. That Ethics is standing right in front of. And here's why that breaks the lore directly. Um, Ethics, or rather, no, the entrance is back in the overworld, the main world, right? So why is it here in this weird other dimension? Or more properly, how did the vent we were in lead there? Isn't that supposed to be like impossible? Which is completely lore breaking altogether. And one of the big things that just completely just breaks immersion and just basically just um destroys any kind of continuity or semblance of it that this game has. Because here's the thing, I can ignore like model reuse, but environment reuse like that, especially for environments that are supposed to be on two different realities, two different planes of existence. Yeah, no, that just completely breaks it, because then does that mean that we're back in like the actual world, and like the magic is affecting there now, or it just completely breaks everything. It does not. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. I will say this, at least his friend's not coming. Not that way! Ethics. Speaking of which, what is Ethics anyway? Like, I've always assumed he's the cat guy. But, I don't know, something the Quentin Flynn dialogue says later, it does honestly make me question, what is he supposed to be? Uh, that is not properly lined up. Choose wisely. I need to pee real quick. Same length. Sorry, I was inspecting my headphones. Because sometimes, for whatever odd reason, my headphones will just, like, go down a peg. Just spontaneously. Shit. Ah! We're out. Oh my god. Sorry, I was just suspecting something. That scared me. That scared me so bad. Another note. Hey, sorry, I haven't been here too much. I can't say much, but keep those stairs in mind. These stairs? Okay. Also, the IO bitrate is back up again. Is it? Let me check. Oh no, it is. We're fine. YouTube complains a bit whenever I whenever I mute my mic for literally any reason. It is the stupidest thing ever. But okay. So there we go. Yeah, that's better. But alright, so yeah, we made it out of there. Eh. That was a tense moment though. Like that was generally actually scary. Like some parts of this game are actually good. A bit. Like, they're scary at least. But it's all overclouded by, bad graphics, and literally everything else that's wrong with this. So,
You thought I was done? You thought a tiny human could defeat the mighty fox? Let's
dear
see
God.
if you can defeat my hammer.
He's coming! And no, it's not in that way. Hell yeah! I escaped. Wait up. Hang on. And here we have more okayish, I guess, artwork of what I assume is Lucy. I'm assuming the frog is Lucy, right? And smiling sun, and it appears Lucy's wearing, is that a tutu or a skirt? Not sure. I'm going to kill you, frog. Yeah, so the red stuff, like the dudes writing in the glowy blood, obviously the bad guy. I'm assuming. Like they're ah! Again, this is not how you design proper blood. At all. Skyward's destroyed. Rotnick Entertainment's lawyers absolutely destroyed Skyworks in court. Not only did they prove their innocence, they turned the tables and provided evidence that Skyworks was doing some shady things. Stay tuned. Also, about the whole what what exactly is the ethics situation? As you saw, um, they actually left Skyworks. 500 Skyworks employees left the company to join Rotnik Entertainment. The feud has never been stronger. This could pose a serious threat to Skyworks. They refuse to address our requests. Their light has been out for days. Stay tuned. Skyworks lights have been out, alright. What exactly are these? Probably some stock asset. Like, here's the thing. Ethics, they wrote in as a fox, apparently, not as a cat. But his overall appearance seems more cat-like, if anything, to me. Like the way his tail is designed and all that just seems very cat-like. With the way that it is big and meaty at the bottom, and then, tapers out to a point. Kind of like, how a cat's tail does. Foxes, on the other hand, their tails are very different. They their tails, they well, I'm a fox. I can give you a reference. Um, so yeah, um, fox tails like mine, they kind of flare out, I guess you could describe it, and become like really, really bushy around like the middle, and then follow the same route. So very, very different tails. Like foxes have very thick, bushy tails. Cats have long, slender tails. Like it's very different. Time to go home. Ah! Ah! Not my best fall scream. Huh? What's this doing here? Oopsies. And finally, we reach the thing that just breaks the lore altogether. The thing that just ruins the game entirely, at least mostly. Rotnik is gone. The building has completely vanished. Authorities baffled. The police went to question the CEO, but he wasn't in his house. His car was in the garage. He was gone. No bodies have been found yet. Oh. Yeah, but here's where it falls apart, Like, an entire building disappearing. An entire building disappearing. Think about that. Like, sure, weird stuff has happened, but not even like Bendy went that far. Like, yeah, they did say, oh look, Joey Drew Studios built all this, but they explained how it was all taken down. Like, they explained that Eventually, they went bankrupt and everything had to be demolished because Joey Drew Studios went bankrupt, leaving Joey Drew with a little more than his ink machine and an apartment left. Very different from from and in Poppy Playtime, which this game developer accused of stealing from this, but again, who wants to steal from this? No one. Yeah, Poppy Playtime, they explained it as, everyone was outright killed. Like, they were like, the Hour of Joy happened, everyone died, or at least, most of the workers died, and most of the people who visited died. And since then, the building's been closed off. Like, it's been locked up, extremely securely to make sure that no one gets in and tries to unleash whoever was in there. Like both of them and in Garden Banban, they initially state that everyone disappeared, which Garden Banban's its own kind of bad, but it's not so much story bad, except for some of the more nonsensical jazz they put in there. No, it's more like game mechanics bad with them. And it's basically this but worse, at least. But yeah, even they have better, explanation. They're like, hey, the kindergarten's still standing, but everyone inside disappeared, sort of thing. And but yeah, this has to be like the big thing that really breaks the story here. Is just the entire building disappearing. Like, yeah, sure, you know, things disappearing. Yeah, that's fine. But an entire building, yeah, that just breaks the entire lore. Like, honestly, if I was gonna remake this game, I would make it so that the entire building's still standing, but everyone inside has either disappeared mysteriously or has outright died. Disappear mysteriously if we're going the Bam Bam route, and outright died if we're going the Poppy Playtime route, where right away they let you know that something killed everyone. But that's just me thinking. All right, which way do we go? I wonder. Ha! That almost gave me a heart attack. Like, my heart actually almost jumped all the way in my throat. God. Oh yeah, and one thing that does make this kind of funny though is that those skeletons are a stock asset, like half the game. Huh? I don't like this. What's going on? God damn it! What's worse is I can't escape any of them.
Hey, boneheads, why don't you pick on someone your own size? I mean, why don't you pick on someone your own aliveness? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna pull this lever now. Forget I was ever here.
Wait a minute, that's actually feed claw cells. The frog's feed claw cells, that's right. Yeah, the frog has feed claw cells voice actor.
There.
Or voice actress,
Next
rather.
time you do that, you should grow some backbone. Wait, you already have a backbone. I mean, metaphorically. Metaphorically grow.
Yeah, that's feed claw cells
Now you have
voice actor.
a
Then,
hero who are on the floor dead.
then I'm guessing that it was the little,
Yeah.
yeah, it was the little help C thing that is Lisa Simpson's voice. That's right. Yeah, I get the backwards a lot. Aw, did someone save you? Jesus, man. I hate you, murderer. I had to. Huh. Well, it seems there are only ways through the elevator then. Which, by the way, this elevator, oh boy, where do we begin with this? And we might explore the extras section a bit more after we finish the main game, just to give a better idea of how it's made. I mean, this is already a very clear 2.8 out of 10 game, to be honest. And it really shows, especially when you look at, like how everything looks and all that. Enjoy your ride. But yeah, it was inspired by Tower of Terror, but with more collapsing, shall we say.
Manual of complete.
And I did not like that purple mist underneath there, which... Actually, okay, the way that was rendered looked alright. Ah! Uh-oh. Shit. Ah! Ah! Huh? Someone saved us. Ah! And wait up. Is that who I... Her mouth movements are not properly synced with her, by the way. Except for now. Oh yeah, and that's a pre-rendered full motion video, fun fact. That's the end of chapter 1, aka what, has already been released so far, which is, I'm pretty sure is all that will ever be released, because, yeah, we'll go through all the creds here, and then coaster game. Alright, the cast is, yeah, Knockers, and then there's, Clearwater Ivory, who is, older Fee Clausel's voice. And Knockers dude, that is, Quentin, of course. Quentin Flynn, or at least, one of his other accounts. Wait. Yeah, and it helps see they didn't even cred because, she left, which, by the way, that is, Lisa Simpson's voice actor, who I believe is named Laura Bailey, if I remember correctly, who did the, help see. Yeah, I think that is actually her. I'm back. And yes, I do have my chicken with me. Alright. Ah, okay. But, uh, we're gonna load. While we load into this, I do want to give my overall opinion on the game. And it's many, many, many failings. So, first up, is, the biggest issue with the game overall. The lore, or lack thereof. Um, yeah, nothing is explained at all in this game. Like, you know, um, there's no explanation for who the hell anyone is, for, where they came from or any of that shit. Like, like, nothing is ever really elaborated on beyond, ooh, scary monster, you have to avoid it or fight it or whatever. Like, there were no lore tapes to, really, explain anything. There was no dialogue from any of them except for FX, but his voice acting was terrible. And Fee's voice actress, she did an alright job at Lucy, I will admit that much. But she didn't really explain anything. She was just used more for just comedy. Or at least, giving Lucy personality. And, none of the monsters were explained. Nothing about the world was explained except for, the red magic. Like, there was, barely any lore anywhere. And except for the posters. And that's big. That's the second component of the big issue. Is presentation. Presentation in this game is awful. Like, rather than, using your conventional format, lore tapes, collectible pages, uh, you know, other characters telling you what's going on, like, some mysterious benefactor giving insight and explaining, what's going on, like, Frank Fontaine or Atlas as he was known, those kinds of guys. Like, there's nothing. There is literally nothing in regards to, explaining the lore. No, it all goes from, boss fight to boss fight to boss fight to boss fight to boss fight. And with those little billboards in between, which is another big problem. There are way too many bosses in this first chapter alone. Like other horror games, you know, they have a bunch of, little grunt units who will walk around and, do stuff and try to attack you and try to kill you. And then they'll have the big boss. Like, they'll have the big antagonist for that chapter. That's how Poppy Playtime does it. That's how Bendy did it. That's how literally every other game that isn't this has done it. Even Bioshock did it this way with, like, Marley, the doctor guy. I think his name is something like Stockhausen. Um, Dr. Stockhausen, Cohen, Sasha Cohen, or, no, Sander Cohen, and eventually Frank Fontaine. They all had, oh yeah, and Andrew Ryan. You know, each chapter has a boss. Poppy does the same thing. Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Longlegs, Catnap, whoever's coming in the chapter afterwards, that sort of thing. Like, every horror game follows the same formulaic, big boss each chapter that literally every other game does. But Venge, on the other hand, has like 5 bosses in one chapter, which is just a terrible way to do it. Um, and let's not even get into the graphics. The graphics, okay, there were some shining moments. Hey, we'll give it the red magic. Yeah, that was a cool fact. But overall, the graphics really are a lot worse than what they were originally supposed to be. Like the original advertisement for the game had stuff looking way better than what actually came out of it. And that's because most of the graphics team quit, by the way. Fun fact. Um, Gameplay was okay. Like, the character could not run very fast, and that did cause issues with some bosses, but it was just okay. Like, it wasn't spectacularly bad like the rest of the game, but it wasn't, good either. But yeah, graphics and sound is by far, like, the second weakest, but the lore is the really big thing. And also the repeat boss fights. Like, this game does not give you any time to really set up atmosphere. It does not really give any time to, just look around, except for the beginning. Like, that's the only part where, it actually gives time to, like, develop the atmosphere and, like, show off what's going on. Like, that's literally the only time throughout chapter 1 that they've ever done that. Other than that, it's been just like boss fight, boss fight, boss fight, little grunt unit, and then boss fight, boss fight, boss fight. And voices, I do want to comment on because that's another thing. Like, without that mysterious benefactor role that Sean was gonna be in, Sean Chiplock was gonna be in before he quit because Ecker Coaster didn't pay him jack. Um, or at least that's what I've heard. I'm not saying that's definitely what happened, but seems likely. Without that, um, the game's presentation falls flat on its face. And tried to replace them with a bunch of sticky notes. Really, it just doesn't work. That just doesn't work as well. Like the blood guy, the glowing blood guy. That text that works to an extent, mind you. Um, but again, it would be nice if the mysterious benefactor dude was voiced and was actually voiced like was originally planned to, and all that. As for the rest of the cast, though, where do we begin? Like, okay, I'll give them credit to keeping Quentin Flynn's career alive after Konami killed off Metal Gear in the way that it did. Like, I will give them props to that. Quentin Flynn did try his best, but you can only do so much with the voice direction and dialogue you're given. You can only do so much with it, and he pretty much had the best voice performance out of any of them. That as far as I'm aware. Lisa Simpson's voice actor, Laura Bailey, um, she was alright as Helpsy. If by alright I mean she didn't just completely fall flat and just suck outright, um, then yeah, she was alright. She was cool. She was cool, sick, nice. I guess you could say. Not awesome, not wicked, not you know, but also not terrible. I guess you could say. Like that is pretty much what I can definitely say is that her voice work. It was just cool, sick, nice. Like it was just it it was just aight, pretty much. But again, she was also working within limited dialogue, so there were issues too. Oh yeah, and but older Fee's voice actor, hang on, let me see what her name was again. I know like her real name is Cassandra. Um, because I do dig a little on character voice actors from time to time. Like that's how I figured out, Matthew Mercer was Oliver Reese Arnor and all that. Clearwater Ivory, that's right. Yeah, that's older Fee and Lucy's voice actor or voice actress rather. She did a pretty good performance. She for what the dialogue was. For what the absolutely atrocious dialogue was. Well, not absolutely atrocious, but very forced sounding, I guess. Dialogue was. She did okay. She did an okie dokie job, I guess. Um, but yeah, it was a lot better than the other voices, but yeah, but still, or at least it was a little bit better than some other voices. Like it was a bit better than just the absolutely terrible Pinter voice, but still. Um, so while I be giving this game overall, um, given the fact that it is a very blatant soulless cash grab, and most of the team quit, and the creator is not known for being exactly a good guy. Um, I don't know. This is a really tough one because I obviously can't give it 0 because its gameplay's okay for most part. Um, but I don't feel like giving it a score of 5 or above. All things considered. So I'm guessing I'm going to give it about 3.2 out of 10. I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to give this game a 3.2 out of 10. Still, just avoid it wherever you do. Do not play this game. Um, just don't. Like, this is a very, very tough game to recommend. And, it's just not a good game overall. Just, you can play it if you want, but you're better off watching gameplay videos of it. Like, it's not nearly as bad as, Cold Steel 1, which I gave a DNR out of 10 over, which is default a 0 out of 10. Um, and I was like, just don't play this game whatever you do. Just watch videos on it, but it's still pretty bad, is what I'm gonna say. Hi, I'm Ecker Coaster. E Eker Coaster? Eker Coaster. Sounds Russian. Or at least some kind of Eastern European. Like a lot of the names do sound Eastern European in this game. Like Rotnik, uh, Eker Coaster. Those sound very. So I wonder if he is Eastern European. I don't know, or at least is like descended. I don't know. I'm a YouTuber and now a game developer. I created this game for many reasons. I love making games. It's my first game at this massive a scale. I worked 99% alone on this game. Yeah, about that. See, right there already you could tell. This is right after the controversy started with this game and it bombed. Um, like previously you listed all the cast that worked on it with him, but after the team quit because of many reasons, not the least include mistreatment and not being paid enough. Um, yeah, no, he does not get any. Yeah, he does not list anyone else who worked on it with him anymore. He just straight up just claims it all for himself. Yeah, this guy is not a good person, by the way. Just so you know, like I already said this enough, but I really have to rehash that Ecker Coaster or Eker Coaster. I'm sorry, is not a good person. Um, like he did he just treated his employees horribly. He there's also some rumors about like stuff he did on Discord with people. Don't look that up, is all I'm gonna say. Um, yeah, not a good guy. Not a good dude. Um, is all I'm gonna say. Not possible elsewhere. I don't know. A lot of other games use, reality altering magic and have weird magical realms. I mean, look at Benny the Dark Rival. Love high action scenes. This, yeah, he's all action. Is one of the big problems. Like he does not really develop world. You gotta like with me on the other hand. A lot of times when I work on stuff, I'm like really big into the world building. Um, and, that's a lot of the projects that I work on or have worked on in the past tend to have way slower pacing because I make sure to like explain everything. But that's just me. That's just me explaining how I personally do things. But yeah, everyone has their own tastes. But still, you gotta. Sure, high action scenes are important, but you also have to couple that with good world building. And this game failed to do that. You can't just cook with one ingredient. You gotta cook with them all. Is what I'm basically saying here. Huh. No comment. This game also served as an escape for the pressures of being in the old community and the ways that I would all that. Yeah. No comment again. There's lots of stuff there. And lots of companies have like receipts on him and like stuff he worked with and people he worked with have receipts on him that are actually really extensive is all I'm gonna say. Mm. 2 years of work. Yeah, again, 2 years of work, $300,000 raised on Kickstarter, and this is what we get. This is what we get. Huh. Ah! Has an eye for eagle eye for movement. Ah, okay. They can see you move from a mile away. However, their brain isn't too sharp. In fact, it's just a goopy blob. They look kind of like a mutated version of Undyne from Undertale. I think I mentioned this before. Also, I believe this is a stock asset. Funnily enough. And by stock asset, I of course mean, assets bought in the Unity asset store. This is actually one of those. They're very protective of the. Some say that it was their job before a tragic accident occurred. Huh. New small bot. Actually, no. That one was actually legitimately made by Ecker Coaster. Like, it did say that was a store-bought asset, but no, it's actually made by them. Like, they do make some of the models. Like, this was obviously made by him or them. Helpsy was made by him. Yeah. Lazarette, I'm kind of 50-50. Like, I have seen similar models to this in the asset store. But, I don't know. He modified it. These were obviously stock assets. This guy was a store-bought asset. Store-bought asset that was then highly modified. Glorious. Stop judging him. No thanks. But yeah, this one's completely original, at least. This one, on the other hand, I have seen that asset before. Yeah, I've seen this one before, is all I'm gonna say. As to whether or not it's a store bought or, a brand new asset. To give you an idea of which one it is, I'm only gonna say one thing. I've seen this one before. On the asset store. The painter is an armless creature. After losing his arms in a tragic accident, she relies on her voice to lure people in. Huh. Venge World? So that's what they're calling their weird cycle-esque thing that is completely unexplained. Alright. And to give you an idea where all the assets are from, dress is from a store-bought asset on Unity Store. Hair is from a really old Godfall Abbey. And the head is from Frenny Fazclair, I believe. This one doesn't look like any, well, it does look like a few, but I think it was, like, modified. The Helpsy is a weird creature. Not much to say. After dying in a pod plant. What? Huh? His body was scrunched up into what is now. He is thirsty for blood. And straw Baileys? Okay. Yeah, and the reason why they request to be anonymous, or rather he edited their name out, is because Laura Bailey quit the project um after it bombed. So yeah. This one's never even planned originally. And right here you can tell that this is another edited asset because look at those eyes. They barely edited this one at all. And again, like here's the thing. Coaster made a lot of these models when he was a college student a real long time ago. Um, which is why I said school all the time, is because he was in college when he made a lot of these for like various projects or mod modified them, I should say. Yeah, probably his dorm mate. Imagine being in a dorm with him. Yeah, Coaster's graduated from college by now, though. Or at least he's graduated from college by the time the time that literally everything went down with him. Like, he was an adult throughout all the controversies with him. He was an adult throughout the game's development. Like, yeah, yeah. These models were made a real long time ago on a really old version of Blender. Because I don't really know when he was in college, but I think it was like 2009. At least from what I know. Again, I haven't watched Sly Fox Town in a real long time, so I don't know. Like, a lot of my knowledge on him has decreased. In fact, this is the first time. In fact, just recently with the Poppy Playtime controversy was the first time I even remembered he existed. Throughout development of this game, I I went through tons of ideas and concepts before finally saying, alright. Hot tub set. Oh boy. Hamina, stop the presses. Hot tub sessions. Why do I get the impression that means, like, he was, like, jerking it to pictures of, hot anime chicks? I mean, but it's actually cool to see some of this. To see how everything works. That's pretty cool. To an extent. Again. It was actually developed. That's actually really interesting. I thought it was way more simple than that. Yeah, they only modeled the handlebars, obviously. Ah! Yep. And as you can see here, yeah, an entire half of the car is missing. Really poorly done. We're not gonna watch that. That eats up bandwidth. That's actually really cool. I don't know. This is giving me some ideas for like my own game, I guess. And I will admit, your daily Remavera, which I believe is like the country they're in. Again, very Eastern European sounding at least. Or at least, the fictional country that this game takes place in is Rimavaria. I will say, the starting cutscene was actually very well animated. Like that was good. Shame the rest of the game wasn't as good though. Hmm. Yeah, we pretty much got that. But the big problem is, they talk about setting up the atmosphere, but the big problem is that they didn't really give time to like set up the atmosphere. Like they just jumped from boss fight to boss fight. Like, just not a good way of doing it. Yeah, again. Again, this is actually really good. Like the wall break scene is actually was actually pretty high quality, even for like a really genuinely bad game like this. Especially for a bad game like this is actually really good. They use their own custom GPS. And like they did put some work. What little work into this cash grab. But again, it's very Like, if I had something to compare this to, it'd be like VRC of the Dead. Not very good, you know? I'm sorry if I'm being a little quiet right now. I'm trying to get back to the exit. I know you can't press the button to return there, but I don't know. Like, I will hand it this. Like, they did go above and beyond for a crowdfunded AAA schlock. But even still, yeah, it still has all the issues that I've listed above. The creator isn't good. You pretty much all get. Lum da dum da 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 dum. And some of the music is good. Like the music's actually really good. Like I will also give it that. Like a lot of it did remind me of like Cold Steel and various other games. Like it wasn't the best thing I've ever heard, but it was okay. Or at least, it was pretty good. It was pretty alright. Again, if only the rest of the game was good. But that's beside the point. So that was pretty much it for the stream. Yeah, that's Venge. That's all I have to say. Not a really good game. We managed to, get past the laserette, then past, ethics, then past the help seat, even though, having to navigate through that corridor was a bit of a pain, but, whatever. And then, of course, we made it past ethics and, did that whole vent fight thing. And then, we managed to find our way out. Find our way out! Or at least, find our way to an elevator after, battling the skeletons to get saved by Lucy, that, was going to take us the way out, but unfortunately crashed. Though we did at least meet Lucy in the end, you know. And that's pretty much all I can say, because, really, there's not a lot else to say, because, again, no real actual lore. But, yeah. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Really bad game. Don't buy it. or at least it's tough to recommend. You can buy it if you want, but wouldn't recommend it. Certainly wouldn't recommend it. Um, like some of the voice work's all right. The music's okay, but and the gameplay's but the rest of it, yeah, no. There's a lot of issues, and also the gameplay has noticeable problems too. Just a very not worth it game in general, and also the creator not a great guy. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Like he's not the worst guy in the world, but he's certainly not good. Like yeah, he's like I fear to use the word bad person, but he kind of is. Like a lot of what he's been like accused of over the years and what's been like allegated about him. And, like the receipts people have brought up. Yeah, no. Yeah, yeah. Just no. Is all I'm gonna say. Just if you wanna buy it, then sure. Check it out. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Certainly would not recommend it. But anywho, what will we be doing tomorrow? Or rather, well, tomorrow I'm gonna play Trails of Cold Steel some more. Let's be honest here, because with Venge out of the way, with that knocked out, it's on to my my next closest to finishing series, which is Trails of Cold Steel 2. Because we only have a little bit more to go in that. We've passed halfway point in the main story, and we are getting to the point where we're gonna continue harvesting the ore some more, perhaps encounter some more people, and then face off for a final showdown in first Thor's Military Academy, and then Heimdall. Or at least that's pretty much the point I think we're at with that game. So yeah, Cold Steel 2 is gonna be my next one we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be playing that a lot tomorrow. Um, uh, and then later on this week, on Saturday, is another Gartic Phone stream. Now the last time things got really chaotic, like way beyond what I thought would transpire. Well, let's just say that much. Um, and like always, that VOD had to be permanently privated. We are never going to be unprivating that. We're never going to be doing any of that. But yeah, over the next week, or rather, on Saturday, we're gonna be doing some more Gartic Phone. Maybe, even though I don't know, we might have Sarah host this time. I don't know. Though I might co-host at least. Like I might also stream along with them, and do that too. But let's be honest here. So let's be honest here. I've like hosted all the last Gartic Phone streams, so we might change it up. We might finally change it up again and have it be Sarah Dynamite who's hosting again. So um, yeah, that's also something to look forward to. So yeah, um, I'm normally very used to having a bunch of collabs happen throughout Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Like Saturday is absolute collab, but Thursday, Friday, I'm more used to having those collabs too. But alas, because of the new games that came out, Princess Peach Party, which I cannot, or whatever that Princess Peach game is called, which I cannot play because my Switch is dead. Um, yeah, it's had like Joy-Con issues at first, and then it just went downhill from there. Um, and now it's just completely just like the Joy-Cons are just completely unusable, and yeah, it I can't. It's completely unusable, pretty much. Needless to say, but so yeah, with the Saradoon and Princess Peach Party, yeah, we're not gonna have our usual collab tomorrow either. Uh, and thus, because of that, I've pretty much had to find new ways to I've pretty much had to find new things to put in there, new things to put in the schedule for tomorrow's usual time bracket, which well, might as well be Cold Steel. So yeah, but I gotta go. I can't stay forever. You pretty much know the drill. So thank you all for watching this wonderful stream. I hope you have one for us today, night, week, whatever, and I will see you all tomorrow for for Trails of Cold Steel 2, where we'll pretty much be continuing right where we left off and go to more of the shrines. So yeah, good night everyone. Stay classy everyone, and good night. And I will see you all tomorrow for more Trails of Cold Steel 2, where we'll be continuing right where we left off. So yeah, see you there, everyone.